Well, today we are going to unlock the mad scientist and see if we can't figure out a way to generate and follow the blood trail without doing any harm to anything today. Should provide to be interesting and fun, so come on and let's get after it. Welcome back to Arkansas Bigfoot, everybody. Great to see you out here with us today. It's kind of funny how you can stumble across an old photograph of something that is innocent in and by itself, but somehow it triggers old memories of childhood and things that you did and things that you had. That was something that I stumbled onto the other day. I found an old photograph of a Bigfoot lunchbox. You know, the kind that we used to have in school back in the 60s and 70s. I think I had a G.I. Joe, I had a Scooby-Doo lunchbox, I had one that had the Monsters, the TV show, The Monsters.
Yeah.
Had one that had that on it. Just had all kinds of different things. But the thing that sticks out far and above was the chemistry set that I got for my 14th birthday. I'm kind of dating myself because, you know, back then they still let you have all kinds of crazy chemicals and everything else to experiment and play with before everybody decided that they knew what was better for you than you did.
Right.
Yeah, so there was all kinds of things in there to play with. Well, let's get on up here and we'll get this started and I'll show you what we're going to do today. But yeah, it's pretty stupid and crazy just how uptight and regulated everything has become since I was a young kid. The other day I was working on a little garden table, a little cast iron garden table, put new nuts and bolts in it, and went to the dollar store down the road to get a can of white spray paint. And got to the counter to pay for it, and the manager insisted that I show my ID just to buy a can of spray paint. Whatever.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. But anyway, back to the chemistry set. It dawned on me, after thinking about it for a while, trying to come up with a way that we could maybe get some kind of handprints or footprints or just any kind of residual trace without using anything that was toxic or like UV spray or paints or anything like that. And I remembered there was one that was called phenolphthalein. Basically, phenolphthalein was used for decades in things like X-Lax tablets, laxative tablets. It was the active ingredient in that. But what it does when it comes into contact with any of the lipids, which are the fatty acids like greasy hand or animal fats, things like that, it will turn anywhere from pink to blood red depending on how intense the pH level is.
Right.
But it's non-toxic and something that it's safe that we can try this experiment with. So let's get up here to the gifting tree and we're going to set this stuff up and show you what we got going on. Back when we had all the high water down here, everything in this low area was waist deep in water, and it washed out that box and the little bucket that we had and a lot of other stuff. And it's the first time that we've used this spot in 2 months?
Pretty close.
You can see where the water pushed all these leaves and debris and everything up here. Rocks are still there, but they're rocks. They're not going to go anywhere in the water. Alright, so we're going to break this stuff out of the bucket and we'll be right back. Alright, so phenolphthalein, and don't ask me where I got it. Anyhow, what we're going to try to do today is spray this on some of the packaging. And like I said, it's residual, so even if they pick it up and it doesn't activate on their hands, it still carries with them. And if they touch something like the tree trunks or even on the ground, if they walk in it, it still leaves that residual print. And it can be activated. What's in this bottle is goat's milk soap and water. It was a little blue piece of hand soap that was made of goat's milk and water. The fatty acids in the goat's milk will activate it, and we'll show you how it works. One more, there you go.
Bada bing.
And see, that's diluted with water, and you can see that it's turning pink on there. When it comes into contact with the regular oily amino acids that are in your hand, like hand sweat and otherwise, it will turn a darker shade of red. So we're going to spray some of these containers and bags down, and then I'm going to spray it a little bit around the tree. And also the UV light that we have in the dark, it will have a discoloration. So like if we come out here at night and shine the UV light on the trees or on the ground around the tree, we should be able, in theory, to see where they've touched different spots. So
we might try it.
That's the experiment we're going to try today, so let's find out. If you want to go ahead and start setting the stuff up, I'll take that from your hand.
There you go.
Alright, so hold one up here.
Will the oil in the...
Don't worry about the popcorn bag. Turn it around.
So ideally this will dry.
And it'll dry, but it still leaves that residue. So when they touch it, it should leave either a handprint or it should stick to them, and might be able to locate some of it after the fact. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and spray all this down after we get it set up. We'll be right back. Alright, so we sprayed everything down, the baggies and the containers anyway. I didn't spray the sardines or the raw apples. We're not going to do that. But got treat bags with their sausages. That's got little mixed fruit and dried fruit and nuts and things in it. There's a little bag of crispy fruit up there. Their popcorn, moon pies, jar of peanut butter, sardines and herring. So you can see where we sprayed that stuff onto it. And I already sprayed out here around the ground for a little ways around the base of this tree. So let's get on back to the other one and we'll get it set up for you. I got that chemistry set when I was 14 and got it taken away when I was 15.
What'd you try to make?
I think I
don't even want to know.
never mind. I'm not gonna share it. But
I had one like that. It did. It had stuff in it. The slides, the
It
microscope,
was fun.
little chemicals to make reactions. It was fun.
Let's just say it took a lot of sanding and a lot of paint to cover up what got burnt. It will come out tomorrow night, bring the UV light and all of that, and look around and
Sounds like fun.
see if we can see anything. This is just kind of the setup moment today, so I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it.
Yeah, that's how we learn.
Another thing need to just start getting in the habit of, now that we're seeing more and more of those rods, I guess, or orbs or whatever they are, is just to set the night camera up and let it run for a while at the tree line and stuff and see if it picks up any more of them. I think we've seen more in the past couple months than we have in the past year.
Yeah. Feeling like I see something moving, but then I look up and I don't see it, so I don't know. I don't know what it is that I'm...
Yeah, the wind is pretty still right now. You should be able to hear if anything's moving around, but it's hot. It's about 94.
Yeah. We'll have to try that EMF detector again. That was fun. And I think they enjoyed it.
As much as they were tickling it and playing with it.
Must be a fine art to be able to do that without killing battery, without killing...
Yeah, the first several times we tried stuff like that, it would work great, and then just flatline when they'd get close to it. It would just drain everything out of it. But I think they figured out how to manage it a little bit better.
I think the young ones especially get eager. Maybe they aren't always aware of the effects that they can have.
Well, I don't think this experiment today is going to be too intrusive on them. It's kind of like chewing those little chews they gave us in grade school to see if we had cavities in our teeth, and our teeth would turn red for a day.
Yeah, this is probably less intrusive yet. Because there's really no dye in it, and it turns red, but
It's just
it's
a
not
reaction to the
yeah.
pH levels, the fatty acids and stuff. Yeah, we found trees out here that they've been sitting against where it's got a big oily residue on it, where they've scratched their backs and otherwise. I'm of a notion to just sit the stuff up in that original gifting tree right there today. It'll be easier to use that spray around that than on the ground over at the other spot. Alright, so she's already sprayed the peanut butter jar and the baggies down with that. We're not going to spray the sardines or apples or the popcorn bag especially, because it's already got the butters and oils in it. But if you want to give them one more hit and then kind of spray around on the ground. So that'll dry and leave that residue.
I'm going to skip my catastrophe with the sardines.
Yeah, go ahead and spray some down around the off to your right side just a little bit more. Don't be bashful with it, you can use it. That's what I got it for. Probably down there where your feet are at, just kind of like a buffer area around the front here. Had a little accident with one sardine can. It went sliding down the tree, but
my real gloves were slippery.
Yeah. Well, that should have it. So we'll come check it with the night camera and the UV lights and all that stuff afterward and see if we've got anything that looks like anything. Well, what do you think? You want to bang the rocks today, or you think it's too hot and they're laid up?
I think they're laid up. Honestly, I don't mind banging them, but I think they're laid up.
Well, let's go ahead and give it a try and see.
Okay.
I said it's the heat of the day. It's about 94 out here right now. Looks like it's all intact.
So far. Alright guys. Thanks. I honestly feel like the majority of them are laid up. They might have a couple of watchers out, but
I'll try it again when we come back out after dark. Well, when it gets this hot, these guys turn to the night shift. That's not surprising. We will come back out either tonight or tomorrow after dark and see what we see. Appreciate you tagging along today. Fingers crossed, maybe we'll find something on the next go around. Thanks for watching.